The same way that man avoided that car, that's how you should avoid regret. Fear regret more than you fear fear. Fear regret more than you fear fear. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you find yourself in on this vast place we call Earth. Today I want to talk to you all about we have to teach our children better. Some things that I was taught as a young man growing up, and some things I wish I would have been taught, and the things I'm passing down to my daughter and those her peer group, her age, her friends, that I try to pass on nuggets of wisdom, things that I wish would have been taught to me, which probably would have put me in a better position than I am in today. And I am in a good position, don't get me wrong, but I could have been probably further ahead if I would have been taught some of these things. So if I had the power of Thanos, if I could just snap my fingers and blow away a system, I would redo high school, elementary, junior high, high school, or the collegiate system, because truth be told, it just does not work. I have 4 degrees. I've been fortunate to have 4 degrees, 2 in business and 2 in seminary. And I have experience from the inside and from the outside. And I also taught at the University of Phoenix. And so I got to see college and high school things, I actually as a student, and then subsequently as a teacher. And from my point of view, the current school system is pretty much failing our children. Our high schools are ill prepared for work or for college. Me personally, when I went to college, I didn't even know how to write a proper term paper. I was kind of passed through. I played football, I had athletics, but I was never taught how to actually be a student. So, and then when I got to college, I was really forced with a hard decision. How do I survive? Because I don't have the skill sets to be successful. And then when I got to college, I took on credit card debts, and I didn't even have a job, but I was charging up credit cards like crazy because I still wanted some things. Then on top of that, I started taking on student loan debt and things of that nature, not understanding the ramifications. Do you know student loan debt is higher now than credit card debt? And the last I read, student loan debt is about $1.7 trillion. And if you cannot, and one thing you cannot do with student loan debt, you cannot bankrupt yourself out of it. Then if you're able to graduate from college, then you are ill prepared for the real work world while straddled with a mountain of debt. So what should we do about this? Again, I said if I was Thanos, I would blow up the entire education system and start fresh. But seriously, we have to teach our children how to survive in this world. And let me be real, everybody's not designed to go to college. Some folks need to learn a trade, but you need to understand what fits your child better at that stage in their life. Some people can go to college right after high school, like I did, and some folks have to wait a few years to get that experience, to get that maturity to be able to handle it. But first thing I would do is I would teach your kids about, if they go to college, student loan debt. I believe in higher college, and also I believe in learning a trade. But if you go to college, do not take out thousands of dollars in loans. I'm encouraging my daughter right now. I live in Maryland, and Maryland has free community college for the first 2 years after high school. So I'm encouraging my daughter to go to community college, get that AA degree. Then once you transfer and you got those study skills, transfer to a 4-year school and then finish out. So when you come out, you have an AA and you have a BA, and you will have half the debt or none of the debt. And if you're not getting a scholarship to go to a school out of state, stay in state. Stay in state, because they charge you double the credit tuition versus being an out-of-state student. I remember I was in college and I was taking a course, and I got my bill for one of the courses, and this is back in the 90s. And I recall each credit for me as an out-of-state was like $350 per credit. And most colleges are 3 credit courses. And my college roommate was paying like $150. I was paying $200 more per credit than he was paying for the same class. Let that sink in. Second, teach your kids about taxes. One thing we all will face is taxes and death. There's no getting around it. Your gross paycheck is not yours. I like when folks say, I make $100,000 a year. No, you don't. You make probably about 50,000, 60,000 if you're lucky. Learn to live well below your means. If you can't afford that mortgage or one payment or that car comfortably, don't buy it. Live below your means. Next thing, purchase property. I read a story the other day that this rapper, he wanted to buy his girlfriend a luxury car for about $250,000. Not even considering the depreciation of that car. That car holds no value once you drive it off the lot. But his girlfriend has a better plan. She said, let's buy some rental property units, fix it up and rent it out. A couple years later, that property that they purchased for $250,000 is now worth $750,000. Let that sink in. She had a great mindset for business. Third point, have a business mindset. See, when I was growing up, I was taught to get that job, work for 30, 40 years, retire. Both of my parents worked for the government, so I was given a government worker's mindset. But one thing I realized when I was in the military, a general told me one time, General Bowman told me one time, he said, young man, you don't get rich working for the government. You don't get rich working for an employer. Owners get rich. Workers get a paycheck. But let me be real. Everyone is not designed to start a business, or everyone has that fortitude or that mental capacity to run a business. But at least let's give them a blueprint and let that person decide. I wasn't given a blueprint. I was just given a mindset to do 30. Fourth, eat healthy. Did you know from 1999 to 2018, obesity increased from 30.5% to 42.2%? Obesity-related conditions include heart strokes, heart attacks, type 2 diabetes is running rampant in America, and other types of cancer. These are among the leading causes of preventable premature death, and people are not maximizing their life. They have a substandard way of living because when you have a lot of health issues, you can't do things. It is estimated the annual medical cost of obesity in the United States was $147 billion, and that was in 2008. Can you imagine what that cost is? Medical costs for people who had obesity was $1,429 higher than medical costs for people with healthy weight. So what are you saying? We have to learn to eat proper. We have to get away from eating fast foods every day. Now, there's days you say, I'm going to splurge, I'm going to have a good time. So maybe Friday or Saturday, I'm going to eat that pizza or have that burger or whatever. But throughout the week, learn how to eat healthy salads, vegetables, proteins like baked fish, baked chicken. Learn how to fast. Your body will not die. People have fasted for 30, 40, 50 days and live. Now, you do need water, but learn how to go on like what I call intermittent fasting. Get rid of the sodas and drink plenty of water. Number 5, debt management. Of course, the primary goal of debt management is to help you become debt free. Learn to own your own house. My dad bought his house. He paid his house off like 15 years later. He said, I have 2 bills. That's my tax bills. I got to pay my taxes. So you still will owe the government tax money for the property tax, but you won't owe a mortgage company anything. So own your bills, own your own house, Stick to a budget. Live below your means. Just because you make it doesn't mean you spend it. Everyone who gets a raise, I know a lot of folks, especially my family, they get a raise on the job. That means I can buy a bigger car. I can buy more clothes. I can buy things that don't appreciate, but rather depreciate. So learn to invest in stocks, real estates, buy assets like paints, jewelry, things that can make you money, as opposed to things that depreciate your money. Cars and clothes are some of the worst investments you can make. And renting property from someone else is bad. They get the tax benefits of you renting from them, but you get nothing. Number 6, stress management. Stress is defined as a state of mental, emotional strain caused by adverse circumstances. At one point or another, most people will deal with the feelings of stress. In fact, one study found that 33% of adults reported experiencing high levels of stress. So how do you reduce stress? How do you reduce it? Goal setting. People, when they have goals or set themselves up with goals, they have a positive sense of commitment. What is your purpose? Is your purpose every day to get up, work 8, come home, watch TV, go to bed? Get up, Work 8, go home, go to bed. Do you have a purpose? Are you working on a hobby? Are you working on a trade? Things that give you some control and things that give you yourself of optimisticness. So we need to learn how to set goals and stick to them and develop hobbies. I have a saying: work hard, play harder. Get a hobby. For me, recently I took up about 4 or 5 years ago. I brought me what we call a Spider motorcycle. It has 3 wheels now. I wasn't that bold to get 2 wheels because I started later in life. I don't want to fall, but I have a 3-wheel Spider motorcycle, and I've learned that. My family, like, what are you doing? I said, I'm living life. I don't want to die. I fear regret more than I fear fear. I fear regret more than I fear fear. So I took up motorcycle. I took up kayaking. My family, you gonna go out in that water? Do you know you gonna drown? I said, well, I got a water vest. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I'm gonna go out with a group of people, so I have some safety there. But I'm gonna fear regret more than I fear fear. And lastly, I'm a man of faith. I believe in the Lord, my Savior, Jesus Christ. And in every area of my life, I give over to him. For the Bible says, take on his yoke, for his yoke is light and my yoke is heavy. How many know life will bring on some heavy yokes? And when you don't have a higher source, a higher power to go to, and I pray to the Lord, it helps reduce a lot of stress. But I hope this video found you in a good place. I hope this video gave you some tidbits to help you begin to get your life back on track if it's off track. And if your life is on track, I hope this takes you from good to great. But again, fear regret more than you fear fear. Fear regret more than you fear fear. So if you like this video, I suggest that you like, subscribe, and share this with someone who may need to hear it. So until next time, be blessed.